episode 2 of the podcast, and yeah, we're really excited to bring this to you. So, with me today, I have some panelists that you're familiar with, and a content creator that I'm sure you all know. So, I have with me Formana today. Say hi, Formana.
So,
And Mofo.
Hello.
Blackula.
Blackula.
Brave Knight Karl.
What's good, YouTube?
And everyone's favorite content creator, Leon Zai. Say hello, Leon.
Hello.
Great to have you with us. And can you tell us a little bit? No problem. Can you tell us a little bit about when you joined the game? What was going on at the time? What was the big unit at the time? That kind of thing.
Okay, I joined the game 204 days ago exactly, and I was bored on the bus on the way to school, and I saw this game, Brave Frontier, on the top crossing, and I was like, why don't just try this game? Then I went in, I saw how it was like in the Mistral first few dungeons, and I like it. So I bought 100 gems, and I wrote, my first unit was Mega Rare God Knight Wheel.
So you put 100 games into the game. You put 100 gems into the game before you even really knew what it was about?
Yeah, immediately, about 5 minutes into the game, after the tutorial, I bought 100 gems.
That's awesome. Amazing. And the rest was history.
Yeah, so I got the Mega Rare, so I was super psyched, and from there the addiction continued.
Man, they should have done that with everyone's first summon. Just made it Mega Rare. That way they'd be really interested in continuing on. So,
exactly,
what kind of units were really big at the time? What was going on in the game?
Oh, the top tier units were the Mono Alice team. I'm sure you guys heard, you know about it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I saw people playing arena teams with 5 Alices, and they were wrecking. So
Yeah,
I
sure.
was pretty upset that my wheel wasn't doing as much as the Alice, and then I continued to roll more, and I still didn't get an Alice until they had the summon rate increase a few months ago when the 6-star came out.
Oh,
Then
wow.
I got my first Alice. Oh god.
Wow.
I was so disappointed.
I feel your pain though, because it took me that long to get my first Douglas. Until they raised the rates for him, I did not run into one of them. And, everyone's sitting here like, "Oh, I got 6 weight," and I'm like, "What the hell are you gonna do with 6?"
Wow.
You don't even want to know how many Douglases I've gotten.
Dude, when Douglas was only 5-star in the past, I fused about 4 to 5 of them, and then the 6-star came out in Japan. I was like, what the oh god, it's over, man. It's the content was so good, and that's it. I fused everything away.
That's crazy.
Reroll. Oh, yeah.
All right, so first thing we're going to be talking about. I just saw a connection error. That's not good. In case you guys are wondering, if you don't know, we are looking at Leon's screen, and there are connection errors in the game right now. So bear with us as we go along here. But the first thing I want to talk about, the thing that's on everyone's mind right now, is the Fire Arena Vortex. So first take on that. Anyone?
Gems.
Gems. Okay.
20 minutes.
Okay, here's the thing. Here's the thing. I gotta ask about gems. So, do you think it's a good idea to be gemming right now, or do you think it's a better idea to gem later when more people are higher rank and you can actually get more points out of it?
I say save it until the last 2 days.
Last 2 days, because I have a feeling, especially that last day, is going to be absolutely crazy.
Yeah, that's right.
Everyone's going to be trying to hit that top 1,000. But I mean, how long do you really think it's going to be until they release the dungeon, if there is going to be? I think they said there is going to be one where you're going to be able to get the evolution material.
Oh, you mean the bulb?
Yeah, the bulb.
I think there's been talk about it in the chat on Skype with the staff. So they said there's plans to actually release a exclusive dungeon just to farm for the bulbs. But they're gonna plan to release it in the normal quests as a rare drop like pots.
Oh, I called it.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it should be interesting. So, I mean, that means there is hope for people, especially free players, who are looking to get the evolution for the new unit, Blaze, when it does come out. So even if you don't make the top 1K, I mean, you can still benefit from at least getting the unit, and you have plenty of days to do it. I mean, there's people who are close to doing it on day one, but obviously they're gemming their way there.
Yeah.
But yeah, so what were you saying, Jamie, about the 20 minutes for orbs?
I love it.
You love it. Okay, I'm finding it hard to keep up.
Well, it's like you got three orbs from that after 1 hour, and then by the time that one's up, now you got another orb in the regular arena. So you're switching between the two arenas. I mean, it can be pretty time consuming, but I mean, it's like I like the fact that they regenerate fast, so that I mean you can like continually have something in the vortex to do instead of like waiting a full hour just for one orb.
Yeah, I've noticed my biggest problem is I'll run through all my orbs and then I'll be like, all right, I'll just wait for one of them to reload and then I'll go back to it. And I'll do something for over an hour and then I'll come back and I'm like, damn it, wasted like another 20 minutes after that hour. So that's my only like problem with this whole 20 minutes per orb thing.
Can I just point out that the entire pre-show he played without a error message, and as soon as we went live,
well, of course, that's just the nature of the business.
it looked like such a good idea during the pre-show, and now everyone gets to look at him loading.
Nah, it's fine. I'm sure everyone's looking at the exact same loading screen on their own phones right now.
Shout out to Fame.
That's good. I think that does need to stay there for a while. That's perfect. So, what was I going to say? Oh, so as far as teams that they're running, what is everybody running right now? Let's start with you, Formana. What do you run in the Fire Vortex?
For me, I'm running a Lava Leader, 2 Farlons, an Asia 6-star, and either Lorand or Kaina. I'm not too sold with either yet.
Okay, and why is that?
Well, basically, I think Lava is the best leader because she gives, of course, 50% attack up to everyone and 1 BC per turn to everyone as well.
So are you noticing more of a benefit off of power, or are you noticing more of a benefit off of BB?
Well, power, of course, because when you include the 50% leader skill attack up with angelic foils, you can like kill 2 enemies in turn 1, and that's really good for you.
Yeah, because that's less people attacking you, less chance of them getting their Brave Burst, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
Cool. All right. What about you, Mofo?
I'm running a Lava Lead with Kagutsuchi, Aisha, Kaina, and Farlon.
Now, was this premeditated? Or did you automatically know you were going to put the Centaur in there, or you just kind of said, like, this is what I have, this is what I'm using?
No, I thought he looks cool, so I put him in there.
Okay, so were you have you run into any problems using that squad yet, or is it working just as well as anything
Yeah,
else?
it's working well because mainly of the 50% lead, as Formana had said, and I'm running foils also, so pretty much works out the same way for Man's team.
Okay, and all right, so let's see here, Blackula. What about you? What are you running right now?
Well, let's see. Well, I started out. This is like my 4th team that I'm on, and I've decided to stick with it. The first team I started out with Aisha lead, 6-star, and 3 Kyenas and a Lauren, because I didn't have my 4th Kyena maxed out yet. She was still a 4-star, so I was getting wins with that team, but I wanted to try something different, so I went ahead and maxed out that other Kyena. And then finally, I did Aisha and 4 Kyenas. So I've noticing with that team, you know, with Aisha's leadership skill and all the BCs being produced by Kyena, my entire team was almost, you know, getting Brave Burst on first turn. But then also I wanted to try Kagutsuchi to see how well he did. And it wasn't as successful. I mean, I got victories with him, but it wasn't as, like, dominant, let's say, with the Aisha lead. So, like, I will not be using Kagutsuchi again as leader. So
It would be nice if the 6-star came out.
If the 6-star came out, that'd be different. But since he's still a 5-star, he's not being used. So then I decided, well, you know what? I have a Michelle here, and I just realized she actually hits more than Kyena. She's a 15 hitter. So I'm like, I'm going to take out one of these Cayennas, and I'm going to put in Michelle, put her in that top spot. I put Aisha in the second spot, and then I have my other 3 Cayennas. And I'm seeing, like, almost everybody getting full in that first turn, and it's like, if Michelle activates, it's like, it's pretty much game over.
Yeah, and that's basically what I've been doing too. I've been I have like a hybrid between the two strategies. I have my lava lead, but then I also have 2 Cayennas and Michelle for the BC production. Then I have Aisha for the high attack. So what I'm doing is I'm actually able to take out probably 1 to 2 units for the first turn, and then after that I usually can get Brave Burst by at least 1 unit, and hopefully they use it. But otherwise, it's been working out pretty well. But what about you, Brave Knight Karl? What are you doing so far?
Right now, pretty much same for Cayennas and Lava.
Okay, so have you been seeing a lot of success so far?
Oh, I got a few wins. I still got to work on the Cayennas before I want to get farther up. I ran into trouble, and they're all sitting at 4-star.
Oh, okay. So have you been aiming for a lot of lower players?
Oh, that's why I've been holding off, because, like you said, I'm going to let everyone get a little bit ahead of me. And the people that are still going to be stuck down below are going to be either like the really bad free players or inactives, and I'm going to get the 200 points every orb.
Yeah, and that's definitely a good way to go. The one thing I would suggest, obviously, is to get that team up and going. But you have more important things because, like we said before, on the last podcast, we were talking about you maybe running Gra while we were doing this, but we did fall short. We weren't able to bring it to you this week, so we will be able to bring it to you next week. And we get to laugh as Brave Knight Karl fumbles his way through Gra. It's going to be a lot of fun.
I'm taking Karl and 4 healers.
Karl and 4 healers. Actually, just make it 5. Don't even bring Karl. He doesn't even need to be there.
Itchy,
Yeah.
can you mention the Q&A section?
Right. Okay. So we do have a Q&A section for anyone that is interested in asking us questions. You can actually go ahead and click on Q&A. I believe it's in the top right of your screen if you are on the Google Hangouts page. And you can submit any questions you have there, and Formana will go ahead and select which ones we are going to answer on air. And after we go over some of our topics, we'll go ahead and answer your questions. So, Leon, what are you running as far as arena goes? The arena, fire arena.
I'm running a 6-star lava leader and 5 5-star Fowlons.
Wow.
Yeah.
Overkill. That's overkill.
I've run into that team a few times.
And what have you been experiencing as far as getting your Brave Burst?
I came in like a wrecking ball, man.
So in other words, basically getting a lot of Brave Burst and not really having any trouble getting it, right?
Yeah.
Have you noticed the... Go ahead.
Sorry? No, by turn 2, actually, at least 3 out of 5 have the Brave Burst up already.
Nice.
Yeah.
That was actually going to be my question. I was going to say, have you been noticing a big... is it usually a lot, or is it like still only a few? Because I know Farlan's not exactly a huge BC producer, but since his Brave Burst does... he does achieve Brave Burst pretty quickly, that does help out a lot.
Yeah.
And what about teams that you're running into? Have you been running into anything that's been a huge problem, or anything you were like, man, I wish I had tried that?
Yes, the only thing that I'm running problems with is the RNG.
Yeah, well, that's
It's everyone's problem.
that is the hardest team of all.
Yeah, because it's like fighting the final boss, man, and when you have like all your Brave Bursts up, but none of them opens.
None of
and
them.
then
I actually, yep, I had that exact same thing. I started out by running 4 Cayennas and what was it? I think an Aisha lead or something like that, or I think I had the Centaur lead at one point. And yeah, I had 3 turns where all of my Aisha, or all of my Cayenna had their Brave Burst, and none of them used it. They all went down before any of them got to use it. It's absolutely frustrating. But any other teams anybody else is running into that they're kind of saying like, man, I wish I tried that, or I got to avoid that team altogether?
You got
Fire problem.
I'm happy with my team. I mean, like I said, I'm running into that lava team, lava 4 Farlan team, and I haven't lost against them yet.
Not once?
Not once. I am
Wow.
right now. My record is 39-0.
That's pretty impressive. And you've been facing people above you?
Yes.
That's very nice. What?
I mean, when they hit, it does hurt, It it does hurt, but somehow I've managed to pull off the victory every time.
Well, that would be another question. Since not everyone has full Farlon or full Kayana or full anything like that team, or maybe the resources to get a team like that, would you suggest something like maybe going to counter the teams that are out there? Like, for instance, maybe running some high defensive teams with maybe some high defensive spheres?
Totems.
Well, I knew you want to run totems. There's no surprise there. But I mean, for instance, like since a lot of units are getting their Brave Burst quickly, would you want to try and outlast them? Since you don't have the option of achieving Brave Burst quickly, and you also don't have the option of taking out 2 units on first turn.
Actually, to prevent yourself from getting killed via Brave Burst, right, it's pretty hard because even if you run like full defensive on your units, right, you'll still get wrecked if they are running very low BB fillers like Faulon or Kanas, and regardless, RNG is still gonna fuck you up either way.
Yeah.
So even if 2 or 3 turns on, and that's it, that's the end of your team.
Would you suggest maybe doing something like trying to cause status ailments?
Actually, I would suggest if you were to not have this kind of fast BB feelers, right, it would be better if you run the Sapphire strategy where you actually wreck like 2 or 3 of your opponent's units on the first turn, like by boosting just how do you say, like a paper cannon. Is it? Did I say it right? Paper cannon?
Glass cannon.
Glass cannon. Sorry, glass cannon. Yeah, glass cannon. Glass cannon build. So basically, you just want to rack them up on the first turn, and then the second turn, even if they have like their BB up, you still have like 5 of your units that is available, because it's impossible for the first time they wreck your team, right? Like to kill 1 or 2 with only like three units left. So I think that's another a build you can consider. So for this kind of teams, I think you got to. I'm not sure which of the fire units have this very high attack, but I'm sure there's 1 or 2 of them that you can consider. I got to look into it. Yeah.
Yeah, Lauren's definitely one of the higher hitters. So
Yeah, right, Lauren.
what about the new fire unit that you can get out of here? Has anyone had any thoughts on him? Is he worth it? Is he something that people should be breaking their backs to get?
I'm getting it for collection.
Collection.
Me too.
Yeah.
Collection.
Me too.
I could probably find a use for him,
Yeah.
but
Do some experimentation.
yeah.
Especially
I wouldn't say
since
back breaking, but I'd say he's worth it just because of his availability. I mean, he's even quite easily acquirable by free players.
Yeah.
Oh, and not to get his Brave Burst gives an attack boost 2 fire units. What they said, 75%.
75%.
I think that's what it is. His
Yeah,
5-star.
It's
It's pretty high. It's pretty high.
Well, my question was, I mean, he's not someone you could throw into the Fire Arena team, obviously, because you can't even evolve into 5 stars, right?
No.
No, right? So basically, you're looking to use him in the future, and you have to really ask yourself, what am I going to use him for? What is the point of getting this unit? Like, why am I going so hard for it other than collection? Like, is there a reason? And then I think you can kind of go from there, how hard you want to dedicate yourself to this Vortex. But,
okay.
no, what were you going to say?
I was going to say that. Okay,
This is awkward.
let me just mention that his Brave Burst effect is unique to himself and Ramna.
Okay. So in other words, it can be coupled with a few different things. So what were you thinking?
Well, basically, of course, it's just a Brave Burst, so it doesn't take too long to fill compared to Ramna's. But I don't think he can compare to Ramna's, though.
Because Ramnus is going to get a 6-star?
6-star, yeah, of course, and she has a def up also.
But still usable for free players since they may not have Ramno or anything
Yeah,
like that. Right?
definitely, but the problem is when is the bulb going to arrive
Yeah, that's a
on
good
the
question.
Vortex?
But hopefully free players have other units that they're concentrated on so that they can worry about those in the meantime. But that brings me to my next question. So since we kind of have a feel now for the Vortex Arena and we kind of know what to expect as far as like what the teams we kind of have to make or anything like that, what do you foresee in the future as far as the other elements? Like, let's say the water one, for instance. Is there anything that pops in your mind like, oh man, I have to use this, I have to use that? Because there's one thing I've learned from this arena, it's that Kayana is not Saren.
Yeah.
As much as you want her to work out like Saren, she's not going to work out like Saren. So, like, I spent all this time getting Kayana's ready, and I feel like it was complete waste because she isn't doing what I wanted her to do. And does that mean that people aren't going to be running Sarens when the Water Vortex comes out?
But Saren is so dominant, I don't see much water comparing to it.
Well, I mean, you can say the same thing about a team of Farlons and Lava Leader or any leader. You know what I'm saying? Like, they both achieve Brave Burst about the same rate. So can you really say that Sarens are going to dominate, or is it going to be the same story where you're going to want high attack units to take out
I think
as fast as possible?
Saren dominates now in the regular arena.
Yeah. I'll put it. I say the line is 50%. If you have at least 3 Sarens, you're going to be at least in the minimum, the top 50%. You're going to win at least that many compared to people who have regular water units. It's going to come down to who thought of the best leader and maybe the other unit that works the best with it.
Yeah.
So are there any other strategies that people are thinking as far as water goes, or is everyone just throwing in the towel and saying Saren?
I mean, every team's gonna have Saren, but yeah, as far as he said, like the leader. I mean, if you're going for the BB spam, you'll probably have Felnius as the leader. If you're going for damage, then you'll probably either have Selena, Mega, or Dean as a leader for the 50% lead. Maybe even Raiden.
Okay. So you basically have that as your strategy, and like that's like the main strategy. If something else comes along, you can work on it along the way, right?
Yeah.
All right. Well, then water is pretty much easy to figure out, but how about Earth?
That's where it's gonna get interesting because Earth has Doug, but Doug wasn't really made for arena because it's Brave versus it's mana. So it's like you may hit something, you may kill something, you may not. So it's like it's all random. But I think somebody who may do well in an Earth arena would probably be Leor.
Why do you say that?
I mean, because of all the Earth hitters after Douglas, he's the second highest hitter.
Okay.
So I mean, and then he's got an AOE Brave Burst as well. Not sure what his Brave Burst fill rate is.
Well, let's think about it this way. What exactly is going to be out by the time that comes out? If we assume that they're going to be released in the order of, say, like how they release most things, where it's fire, water, earth, thunder, light, dark.
Well, I mean,
by then
we got Golem. Let's see, we got Dilma. Yeah, Dilma will be out. His 6-star match should be out.
Like I was saying, Ophelia, when her 6-star comes out.
Oh yeah, that's another one.
Ophelia.
Yeah, definitely.
Ophelia is good.
Rocket.
I mean, is that something we're going to see a lot of? You know what I'm saying? Is it going to be full Ophelia teams?
It's going to be really good.
I have mine ready.
Gonna use Ophelia.
So that's going to be actually pretty rough because, I mean, especially for me, I only have one Ophelia and I had trouble getting her. I don't know who else would be out by then that would actually be usable.
I mean, you got Golem, but his BB rate is horrible.
It's absolutely
but he hits hard. I mean, he hits hard.
He hits hard, so you could kind of go for the same strategy that you're doing in the fire one, but at the same time, I mean, you really got to hope that it works out the way you want it to, because Ophelia's 6-star stats are better than the 5-star stats that we are dealing with now.
Yeah.
I want to see how 6-star Dilma does in arena though. But
why do you say that?
He only hits for 2, I think.
2 hits, yeah.
Yeah, 2 hits.
And it's not like you can benefit from the leader skill too much, because even though he does increase the BB gauge, increasing spark damage doesn't exactly help, because you're not going to be sparking.
Yeah.
Not with Earth.
Not a chance. Well,
I
I
think
mean,
Lugina will also be good.
He's
Still.
you'll probably
that's one that people didn't.
you
Yeah.
will probably see him leading team.
Yeah, because if you
Yeah.
think about it, who's going to lead teams? I mean, you don't. There isn't like a Felnius or a Centaur or anything like that for Earth, is there?
No, nobody
No,
has
Not in
that.
my knowledge.
Yeah.
It's just light and water and thunder. Well, later on it'll be thunder.
But let me ask you this: if you do run him as lead, and his leader skill doesn't stack with Angelic Foil, will you still be running him?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll still run it because then you
Yeah,
can
Or
use
use that spheres.
yeah, you can use
Use
Medulla,
that-
Sacred, Leg One if you're lucky to have one of those.
Just brute everyone down with sheer stats.
Gotcha. And there's no one else that would work out as a better leader than him, right?
Oh, I think I know, I'm not saying Douglas. But he has a good leader skill though, but
He's at the
his
same level as Lava.
yeah, his arena stats is atrocious.
Yeah.
What else?
All right. Well, what about Thunder then?
Thunder, that's another one that it's gonna be.
Interesting.
Wait, I think we've
Oh,
done
high
over.
attack and low hit count.
They don't produce crystals at all. Thunder is gonna be all about power, I think, because none of
Yeah.
they don't really produce crystals that well. So like you won't really be seeing anybody Brave Burst too much. I mean, your highest hitter right now in Thunder is Amelia, because she's a 10 hitter, but her Brave Burst is also single target. So I mean,
What
yeah.
about your man crush? Grieve.
Right. Yeah.
Grieve, I'm
Oh,
sorry.
Well, if we get a 6-star, then that's a good possibility because he's also a 10 hitter in his Brave versus AOE.
And like I said, if they do end up doing it in the order that they usually do things, then he will be.
And not only
He will
that,
most likely be out by then.
like I said, if you paired him up with a leader, with a 50% leader, or actually, what if Rena is out at the same time because she'll be a 65% leader? Put her and a bunch of Greaves, and he's like right now, like once we get a 6-star, he'll be the highest damage hitter in global.
Yeah, and also since Rena can cause paralysis, that may actually help out a little bit too.
Oh yeah.
So interesting. I mean, and I don't think there's any other standout stars as far as Thunder goes, unless people have like I don't know, all E's teams are already waiting. I mean, I guess they could do something with that, but that still probably won't stand up because of the defense.
Yeah.
I think even the Maidens and Sibyls stand a chance.
You think so?
Yeah, for the free players, of course.
Oh,
Yeah,
Phinia.
definitely.
Because Phinia, if she gets her Brave Burst, what is it? She gets paralysis and weakness.
Yeah.
That's huge.
Hmm.
That's a damaging combination because if both of them activate on one unit, well, guess what? You can't move, and then when they hit you again, you're gonna take double damage.
Yeah, it's a good point. So I don't know if anyone's actually tried it or not, but I mean, what about using Paris as a lead? Do you think that could work at all?
Oh my god.
Paris
Still
is
RNG.
so conditional.
I've not
Yeah,
used
You
that.
rely on her 100% of the time.
Mm-hmm. Okay,
That's
so
not
that would be
really
something you would
expertise.
suggest to people.
No.
You can use her as a squad mate though.
Okay.
But as a leader, I'm not too fond of it. I think it's better to have attack up leader.
Mm-hmm.
Who's the Douglas batch for Thunder again? Oh, Emilia. Yeah.
Emilia.
Mm-hmm. Well, that makes sense.
It's like Paris LS wouldn't really shine unless you're using 2 Paris.
Yeah.
Paris has a very big burst in her attacks. We previously used her in the normal arenas, but it was running a rainbow team. But she managed to one-shot most of the units, especially water, because of the elemental advantage. But her BB is super duper strong. She can actually one-shot everybody with her BB.
Yeah,
So
I've
could
run
you see throwing together a team with her in it as far as like a BB team?
Yep.
Yeah, I've lost to a few teams in Arena that had a Paris on them.
Hmm.
Although Paris like hits for 6 hit, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. So she wouldn't be able to generate that much DC. But then again, it's Thunder we're talking about, so I guess it's a trend.
Yeah, exactly. And then you got to figure what are you facing against? Like, what kind of teams are you actually going to be seeing? Is it just going to be like a melting pot of units where it's just everything and anything, and you won't know what to expect? Kind of like,
Yeah.
or do you think it'll be like once somebody figures it out, everyone's going to use that?
I mean, what if people go for like trying to tank their teams just to take the hits? Like have units in there like Behemoth, who's a tank, you know?
Hmm.
I'd just like to mention that we might have DS batch when Thunder comes, so
You got
we'll have
Brand.
the Thunder version of Felnius. Oh no, that's for the other batch, I think. For Selha's batch.
Yeah, that's the
That's Buddha.
Ah, yeah, Oda.
yeah, that batch is definitely an awesome batch, and that will be a game changer for sure. So, okay, then that pretty much covers Thunder. I don't think there's anything that's...
Well, here's one more thing about Thunder.
Yeah,
Speaking of DS batch, the Thunder unit does give a defense boost to Thunder units, or to give
And
the defense boost to the same.
gives I think, Earth
And,
buff.
No, it gives fire buff.
fire
Oh,
because
fire.
Thunder is weak to Earth and fire is
Yeah.
stronger than.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the qualities of that batch.
To prevent the counter elemental.
Okay.
So yeah, I mean, he may be usable for the defense up at some point, but I don't know if you want to rely on that, because I don't know that the defense up is going to help you as much as like say Michelle is helping people right now.
Actually, okay. One more thing about Brand.
Go ahead.
Yeah, you're not gonna get that defense buff unless it's only in Super Brave Burst. He doesn't have
Oh, it is only in Super
Yeah, he
Brave.
doesn't have it in his regular Brave Burst. So unless he gets Super Brave Burst, you're not gonna get that defense buff.
Well, you can always be hopeful.
Not with Thunder.
So true. So what was I gonna say? Oh, right, Light. So let's move on to Light. What do you think is a standout? I mean, is it gonna be Cephia? Are we pretty much just
Every mono Sepia things with a.
right?
I mean, the thing is, and like, if you can have 5 Sephias because she's a 50% leader herself. Plus, she has the 1.2 fill rate for the Brave Burst bar.
Mm-hmm. Now the thing is, if we're expecting these monthly, who knows if this will even count? If any of this will even matter. Because if these come out monthly, I mean, you're figuring by the time they're done, 6 months from now, there's going to be units in the game that we don't even know about yet.
Demo. Demo.
Demo.
Let's hope for Demo. Let's go off on a little tangent for a second and talk a little bit
Demo
about
is light. Demo is light.
Demo is power.
Demo is awesome.
Demo has 17 hits.
Demo has a 20-hit Brave Burst.
Demo's leadership skill is the most broke thing I've ever heard of.
It's so crazy. To be able to get Brave Burst before you even get your BC back is just intense. Like, there's nothing like it. Like, I have her in the Japan version, and it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy because I can go in there as long as I have a high sparkers, I'm automatically going to get everyone's Brave Burst before I even do anything else, and I can do it off of as little as 2 enemies, which is just insane. And I don't have units that are like, I'm not running, 5 Douglases in Demo. You know what I mean? I'm running basic units. I mean, I have like Selha, which is a high hitter, and Ruza, which is a high hitter, but then I don't really have anyone else that's too high, except for like Rukina. And they're still able to get it back off of 2. So I'm sure if you had the right units, you could probably get it back off of 1, which is pretty sick.
But you have
Probably
Zelnite, so you're cheating.
Yeah, well, that too. He does help, I'm not going to lie. But, yeah, so do you think that's a unit that we will see someday, or do you want it to come to global?
Yes, I do.
I think it's gonna come soon.
Yes, I do.
There's already an English version.
Now here's the question: if we do get it in global, will we see tweaks to that character?
Probably not.
Now that's a question.
That's a great question.
Look at Sarin in Japan. 18
Oh, yeah.
hits instead
But
of 16.
They got
Bullshit.
buffs. I'm worried about, because considering what we've seen of this character, I'm worried that it's gonna go in the opposite direction.
Yeah. They
Why
might
is
nerf
that?
it instead. They might nerf it instead. Because everybody is like saying, oh, this unit is so OP. Even Ushi like tried it and it's like, oh my god,
He
this is like
killed Karl
Sarin.
on auto
Yeah.
Even Gra.
in
Even
5
Gra.
minutes.
Gra on auto.
Oh my
And
god.
yeah.
Come
Which is,
on.
yeah, it's just absolutely
So OP.
insane. But I mean, yeah, I guess they could nerf it, but how do you think they would nerf it? Because I'm pretty sure, I mean, when I tested it, I didn't do any real intensive testing or anything like that, but from what I could tell, it seems like you're getting 1 BC per spark. So how would you nerf that?
It'd probably lower its hit count, make it less useful.
Probably make it the same. Maybe drop her 14 hits maybe.
But even if you just drop them, that doesn't change the fact that you can
Yeah.
run her and 5 Douglases.
Yeah, I'm used
Or
to
5 Selhas or anything.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So
So how do
LS
you nerf
is
the...
really like way up there. The LS.
Well, I mean, either way, is there any team that automatically like pops in your head that you want to throw her into if she does come to global?
5 Dougs. I mean 4 Dougs.
So but do you think that's going to be enough? Because you can kind of get the same thing off of
Yeah, without
you
her.
know, with other units. I mean, that's an available strategy like right now. I mean, like Lancia,
Well,
if you throw Lancia in there with 4 Douglases and a Felnius leader, you can achieve the same thing off of 1 enemy.
I'm
I
thinking.
would actually, you know what I think? I would actually, if you want to use a high damage team that has a very hard time producing crystals, that I think Demo would help be the crystal producer for that team while allowing that team to still have its high damage.
Gotcha.
I
Well,
think the elemental changers will be a big thing with Demo
mhm.
because they'll be having a hard time to sustain their brave bursts without Douglas doing it for them. But with
Yeah.
Demo, I think they won't have any problems. And I'm talking about Michelle's batch, by the way.
Oh, okay. Well, actually, that leads us into something else, but we'll get to the 6 stars in a minute. Leon, how you doing on time? You okay?
I think he's AFK.
All right, we'll get back to him in a second.
He's listening, but
Okay, we'll get back to him in a
he's not
second.
on the mic.
So, yeah, so Demo, definitely someone we want to see, someone we may actually see as far as, like, the light dungeon goes. But, I mean, other than Cephia, was there anyone else wanted to talk about as far as light units that may dominate an arena? Or is
Xeno
she, like,
LS,
it?
Let me
Definitely.
see the light units. Melchio.
Okay. Why do you say Malkio?
It's,
Well, he's got very good stats.
Mhm.
Well, his Brave Burst really wouldn't do too much for the arena. And
Yeah, that's the only thing that
that's the only thing.
away from
To
him. Because
Brave Burst
I-
with Melcho, it would
I tried
screw you
him.
up.
Yeah, I
But he
tried
has a very. The thing with Melchio is you may get the opportunity to do Super Brave Burst because he does have one of the fastest the fastest filling in the game.
Yeah, 30 only.
That's true. I have used his Super Brave Burst in Arena before, but it's very rare that I was able to achieve that. But what about Aryuto?
He's a good light leader, of course.
If you're going for damage.
Okay. So, and I mean, that's something you can definitely expect off of Cephia, but I mean, is Cephia's BC boost anything worth making her the leader over using a 65% leader, or do you think that you'd still stick with Aryuto?
I think
Uh,
Sophia is gonna be better.
You think she will be better?
Yeah, because 15% damage increase
Hmm.
isn't really going to be that helpful if your units have full brave burst.
Okay.
As
Yeah.
long as you got full brave burst, just unleash it.
Here's something.
Done. You don't need extra 15. That's from my perspective.
Here's a unit that I'm sure we kind of let slip our radar, and it's something that a free player was able to obtain. Xenon and Estia.
Yeah,
Okay.
definitely.
Do you want to go over her? Them?
Them. So I mean, they've like for a free character, they've got like some of the most amazing stats. Their attack is a 10-hit attack, so that would help in the help producing the battle crystals. Something like I can see them. I mean, you wouldn't use these as a leader because their leadership only affects the other four main elements. So I mean, you'd use these in a support role. So like you'd pair them. I can see them being paired with Aliut, you know. So if you want the damage and have them produce the crystals and whatsoever.
Okay. And
Now,
so you would kind of set them as a first unit, just like you would do with Michelle.
Oh, their Brave Burst. That is right. Because if they get their Brave Burst, they increase the attack and defense for 2 turns by 35%. So you would want to put them in that #1 position since
They
they're going to
also
buff
have
your team.
they also have a low fill rate.
Hey guys, I'm sorry to interrupt, but I need to head off now.
No problem. We were just gonna make sure that you were okay on time, but I really appreciate you coming along with us. If you want
Thanks
to
for
check
having
Leon
me.
out, we're gonna have something down in the description where you can check him out. So make sure you check that out. And like again said, thanks again for joining us. Really appreciate it.
Thanks guys for having me.
Yeah, man.
And sorry for leaving early.
No problem.
Oh, you're good.
Okay, take care.
Thanks for joining us,
Take it
Leon.
See
Take care. Bye bye.
Bye bye.
All right.
Now, Chris, they've been mentionable in free player obtainable. I've never leveled it up. How will the Light Maiden do in Arena? I never leveled it up. I want to know.
Oh, light
Oh,
maiden.
Vanilla?
Light
Talking
Maiden?
about vanilla?
Yeah, the
I have fun and I never level it up either. But I'm just worried about her Brave Burst because it's random.
yeah,
Yeah.
Because it's random, isn't it?
Yeah.
yeah, it's random.
Now, she's someone who's, I mean, was somewhat interesting at the time because if you think about it, her stats were okay and she had a powerful light elemental attack, but for the same thing that she could do, you could get just as much out of the light goddess. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you'd still get the same kind of benefit out of that.
So that's much better.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
So,
I didn't know she was amazing, but I mean, for all the elements, I mean, it's been seeming like the maidens are still playing a part. I never bothered to level Vanilla up to see what she could actually do.
yeah, well, yeah, like they were saying, since she is, since she's someone who has a random Brave Burst, she may not be the ideal one to use in Arena. Then again, if you were going against one enemy, I mean, that may work, but other than that, I don't think it's going to work out. But here's one other one, and one that I've been using every now and then and actually having some success with. What about just Princess Estia by herself?
By herself.
I was not
And
supposed to mention that.
here's the thing, she gets her Brave Burst very quickly. Her leader skill is absolutely deplorable. I don't know why it's in the game. It makes no sense. But her stats,
Because
It's the Zids of,
known fact, it's a known fact when you look at most light units, they have horrible recovery. I don't know
Okay.
Yeah.
why I don't know why they did that to the light units of this game, but like
that's the
very
Thunderbird
few-
of the leader skills.
but still not something you're going to sacrifice for
yeah,
another leader skill, right?
damage or yeah.
Especially not in Arena. And if we think about it, all right, her Brave Burst, like I said, she gets it very quickly. She can raise defense for 3 turns, and I believe when I was testing, I forget if it was 40 or 45% boost, but it's around there. And that's a decent amount for a unit that's going to be getting their Brave Burst quickly and attacking with it.
Mm-hmm.
So,
I have it open right now. So
It also has a high hit count.
10 hit Brave Burst.
and she also has decent stats. I mean, they're
Yes.
somewhat comparable to the Xenon and Estia combo. Not quite as high, but still decent.
No, and she gets her Brave Burst hella fast.
Mhm.
I'm not pulling the database.
Why are you guys just telling me that now? I haven't leveled my Estia.
Oh, they don't have the.
I've actually been I've been testing her out back and forth. I was testing between her and using Melchio, and I was using Melchio just as a hard hitter because his stats were so high. I was able to take out units quickly, kind of like we were discussing with the Fire Arena Vortex, how that strategy works. But with her, I was noticing that I was getting a lot of benefit because if I put her in either the first or second spot, most times she would be using her Brave Burst and giving everybody defense, and on top of that, you'd be getting the attack boost from the Xenon and Estia combo if you happen to get them at the same time. So not only are you getting the attack boost, but you're also getting a little bit higher defense boost and getting high hit counts out of both.
Damn.
but I don't know how that would work against a team of Cepheus because that's not something I run into a lot.
Okay.
So I mean, just something to think about in case you're looking for another unit and you don't have a full team of Cepheus, or you don't have maybe some of the other units that people are looking for. And I know a lot of people had trouble catching Estia in the first place, but obviously if you have Xenon and Estia, you have Estia unless you fuse her away.
Or just use a Miracle Totem
Yeah, or that.
with Giant Stone for 50% increase in stats.
Very nice. Anything else anybody wanted to cover as far as light units?
What about Sodas?
Sodus. Okay, so what about Sodus?
Yeah. Does he
How would he be
increase?
beneficial in Arena?
He has a great stat distribution, but I don't think his BB is good because it increases spark. Yeah, it's the SBB that increases light damage.
Okay.
And he has a low hit count as well, so I'm not too sold on him.
You know, if it wasn't single target, I think her 6-star would be out by then. If her Brave Burst wasn't single target, I would really like to see Lilith.
Oh, yeah.
Just how fast she gets her Brave Burst if it wasn't single target.
She is a very powerful unit, and you could probably go with the same strategy if her 6-star is out by then, where you could take out 1 or 2 units in the first round just from her regular attack, because I mean
that's a trade-off. Whatever she hits with her Brave Burst is dead.
Exactly. That's the thing, and since she does get it so quickly, that could be really beneficial. And her stats are decent too. I mean, she's got a very nice attack. She's got a very nice defense. So that's something you could see maybe running if you have a Lilith already and you are short on those. Hopefully those units drop by then. But that's the thing. We don't really know the order that these things are going to drop because we were kind of thrown for a loop as far as getting the 6-stars that we got recently.
And not getting the testing group.
Yeah, exactly. So what exactly are we going to expect? Are we actually going to expect those units, or are they going to throw like Zelenites group at us tomorrow? You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, it just looks like they've decided to go with the order that their 5-stars were originally released in. I mean, because I remember when Japan had kind of delayed this group and they skipped over them for the Centaur group, everybody was like, well, hey, where are the Rainbow groups at, Where are their 5-stars? I mean, they're 6-stars. So it's like the fact that Gumi decided to deviate from what Japan did and continue in the actual order that they were originally released leads me to believe that the next group is going to be the group that Lilith is in.
Well, here's something that none of us had thought about yet, and I'm really interested to see how this goes. Someone that we didn't actually touch on and will probably be on by then, Maxwell.
Ooh.
2k stats all around, 6.2k health, crazy powerful Brave Burst, 15 hit combo Brave Burst on top of that.
33 hit Super Brave Burst.
Yeah.
Yeah, he'll be a powerhouse if you catch him.
Yeah, that's a whole other story. But
It's like a legendary Pokemon.
Yeah, exactly. He's a legendary.
We've already been talking about our strats for this battle. Whenever we do get it.
That'll be one thing once we start getting word for it. I'm sure we'll go over on this podcast in depth how to get what we're gonna do to get, what we're preparing, all that good stuff. Because let me tell you, there's probably 1,000 strategies. Yeah, each one of that's what we should do. We should all live stream it as we fight them at the same time. So yeah, I mean that's another light unit that if it's out, it's probably a must-have in your squad just because the stats distribution is crazy high and the Brave Burst is very effective.
Hang on, I can't live stream my battle with him.
No.
Because I'm getting him in the first hour.
Oh.
Very confident.
We may need to hold an emergency podcast for that exact reason. But who knows?
Confident you are.
I sure am.
Yeah, that is a lot of confidence there. So any other light units anybody wants to go over before we move on?
Let's see.
The starter, Atro.
Forever forgotten.
Nope.
Still have an animal one on the back burner. Never use it.
Yeah.
Same here. Same here.
Still has
Actually,
good
here's
stats.
one. Here's one we didn't think about. What about Dual Mechs?
Well,
Dual Mechs could work well as a lead,
yeah.
I think.
But do you want to sacrifice a spot that you could be using for much more powerful things? Because his Brave Burst isn't crazy good or anything like that, and I mean, his attack
But
is
you would
wonderful
mainly be
either.
putting him on the team to be a leader, just like Donius for water.
Okay.
For the same,
So,
because they have the same leader skill. So you'd be trying to try to get that Brave Burst bar through. I mean, like I said, if you pair him up with like Saphir, because Saphir's 10 hitter now.
of course.
If you got a Zen and an Estia, they're 10 hitters. Then
Mhm.
if you got a couple of these, they should be producing enough Brave Burst to get a few of the units, if not all of the units, Brave Burst on the first turn.
But then aren't you running into the same problem that we're running into with Kyanna? I mean, not quite, because you're still going to have the high attack, so you're going to be able to take out units, but at the same time, you're still relying on Brave Burst and hoping that that'll be your savior. You know what I'm saying? Where if you're going to take a 65% up attacker, plus your foils, plus a Xenon and Estia for the attack up, I mean, you could ravage teams before they could do anything about it. And that's my only argument against him.
I don't think that would be a problem because if you look at the dual max stat, his attack stat is actually pretty high up in there.
So you think that you could get
But
the
his
same benefit?
BB is bad.
Oh, that's right.
We're not talking about BBs, but we're talking about if the dual max can like kill or on the first round.
Yeah, he's a good unit overall, but
I mean, if you have
the
a
BB
breaker,
is bad.
if you have a breaker dual maxed out, it's going to be around 1887 attack.
Yeah, but then who's got a breaker dual max sitting on the back burner right now?
Not me. Mine's Guardian.
Like,
Mine's an Oracle.
but I mean, it's still something that is very usable for people who don't have the other, like Aryuto or anybody like that. You know what I mean? If you're looking for somebody, and a lot of people do have him that don't have Felnius. You know what I mean? Like, I'll see a lot of those in teams for people who maybe don't have Felnius, and they seem to work out fine. It's just a question of what's going to be out by then and what's everyone going to be using. Because if other people are using things that are heavy hitters, and you're going in there with Brave Burst, their first turn may take out more of your units than you hope for. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because that's something I've been noticing a lot in the Fire Vortex right now. When I was first running the Kyannas, I was noticing that I would get maybe 2 or 3 Kyannas with Brave Burst, but then the enemy team would take out the ones that had Brave Burst before I could even have a chance to use it. So every unit that they take out of yours, that's one less Brave Burst that you have a chance of using. So maybe that unit was going to use its Brave Burst and the other one wasn't, and now you're sitting there with one that can't even use it.
Yeah.
So power may be the way to go all around, but we won't know. And that's why I was thinking, is that what everyone's going to stick with when the Water Womb comes out? But, I mean, like you said, Saren is such a beast in Arena that most likely I'm sure that's what we're going to see the most of. And to counter that, you'd really have to have some strong units to be able to take more than one out per turn.
Well, I mean, like I said, you'd probably even just put a team of Sarens with a 50% user, and she'd still be able to produce enough BC for the field.
That's true.
So you'd be hitting hard with the chance of still possibly getting the Brave Burst off on the next turn. Because I've seen teams that had a Selena or a Mega Lead, and they still had Brave Burst by round 2.
Mm-hmm. Even teams of 5 Sarens, I mean, they still get their Brave Burst very quickly and have the 50%.
And if they end up targeting one unit, and you got 2, and then they just happen to target the same unit, and then they take that out, and then they start sparking, and that's extra BC.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. So yeah, any other units we want to cover on Light? Last call.
Lubridine. Lubridine.
Okay, so let's talk about that. What can you see him doing in Arena?
He's just a stat powerhouse. He has like the highest stats of all the units.
Okay.
Especially when he gets his 6-star.
Patrick, can you
Yes.
mute your mic?
Not when he's talking.
I saw Mike flashing. I thought it was all in the
So
background.
he does have awesome stats. He's got the 2,000 attack, 2,000 recovery, 1,700 defense, and then his BB is also very useful in the same way that Michelle's is. If you have her as your first, if you have him as your first slot, I mean, you're talking attack, defense, and recovery up, and a decent amount. I don't know if we have the exact amounts. Does anyone know?
For
50%.
Star. It's
70 for 6-star. For SBB, 70%. For BB, 50%.
are we sure on that 70%? I'm not really buying that one yet.
We can test it when it comes out with the
Yeah.
rec formula. that
So
we
let
have.
me ask you this. What exactly would you expect to take out in order to put him in?
What do you mean take out?
In other words, like say you had a team of Cephias, or you had Cephia and let me see here. Any of the units we really talked about. I mean, yeah. I mean, you're probably going to take out Xenon and Essia or something like that if you're going to have him in there. Obviously, because you don't want two boosters doing the same thing, especially when one's higher than the other.
Mhm.
But I mean, what if you do have a full team of Cephias or something like that? Would you take out a Cephia to put him in?
Ooh.
Probably.
Or what about, say, if you had an Ariuto lead, would you take Ariuto out to put him in and switch your lead to Cephia?
I probably would.
Because you're already getting the raw 65% from the leader skill.
Yeah.
Would you take him out to take the 50% and hope for a buff?
I probably would.
Yeah, me too.
Okay. So that's someone you would suggest running over Ariuto.
I'm not really that sold on 15% additional increase.
An additional increase?
Yeah, 50%.
Well, what if say
that work well?
Okay, what if say that 15% was the difference between taking out 3 units on the first turn or taking out 2? Would you rely still on the 50% from the BB?
All comes down to RNG. So
Yeah. Okay.
I can't really say anything about that.
All right. But either way, his 6-star should definitely be someone that people should look forward to.
Mm-hmm.
So any other light units? Last call.
I think that's
Still
pretty much
got Miracle Totem. We didn't go over that.
Glowing, glowing.
What about the light item, man?
What about glowing, you know?
King Glory. King Glory.
The sad part is I guarantee someone sees Miracle.
Sad part is I'm sure whoever gets first place is going to switch it right over to that. So, all right, so that pretty much does it for light. So finally, dark.
Oh my God! There's
Dark.
so much.
Let's
You
talk
have-
about one hell of a clusterfuck because
You have so
there's
much to choose from.
there's just everything and anything, and anything goes. I
We
mean,
know it's no hidden secret that dark must secretly be their favorite element because like they always make dark units like so awesome.
let me ask you this also: is there an argument running anything other than a Gra lead?
No, that's actually that was actually my idea.
20% boost, then a 15% reduction to damage, plus you have the chance of casting light on all your units. So is there an argument for any other unit that could be a leader?
Nope.
Nope.
Hands down.
Yeah.
I'll probably
Bruh.
go with
Lunar.
I'm sorry, what was that?
Lunar, possibly.
Lunaris?
No, Alias.
Oh, Alice.
Yeah, for the BB up.
Well, I was saying Lunaris for the 65% attack.
Because I've run Graz
You're not-
plenty of times in Arena, and if you think about it, like it does work out in most cases, but at the same time, it doesn't always work out because now you're playing the Outlast game, and you gotta hope that they don't get their Brave Burst before you do, and you don't have anything boosting Brave Burst. So, like you said, using Alice could definitely be useful.
Yeah. Or even Flurry.
Exactly. Curry's another one, just like Cephia.
Awesome. I mean, I've run with a mono Flurry team at 6 stars in the arena, and it's the team that I usually just stay away from.
Wait. What about Lyra? We're forgetting about her.
Well, I mean,
No,
not
Yeah,
as would you use her as a leader though?
No.
I wouldn't put
Oh
her.
yeah, we're still talking about
Yeah, we're still
leaders.
talking about leaders.
Yeah.
We'll get to her. Don't worry.
Well, but she does give status ailments, so that's pretty annoying, I guess.
Yeah,
That's-
no, don't get me wrong. Those can be absolutely terrible when you're going against her, and you still get 25% boost of your units. So I mean, that's still something.
That's still all about RNG.
Just
Yeah.
imagine. Curse.
But at least you
curse,
can still kind of rely on running 5 Lyras if you have to. You know what I'm saying? Because not only will you get your BB, but you'll also be annoying the hell out of the other team.
That's pretty good for defense as well.
Yeah, I was going to say, I could see people throwing that up as a defense and leaving it up there because that would be frustrating as all hell.
Someone DC.
Oh my god, I couldn't even imagine. Just like,
And the thing is, anybody on the team can get the random status effect. Anybody
Yeah,
can cast it.
yep,
It has
and
a high chance.
And I mean, think about it. Just imagine after their first turn, where two of your units are cursed, another one's paralyzed, and one's got weakness, and the only one that's attacking is at weakness
Oh no, the one that's attacking has injury.
or injury. That's what I meant, not weakness. So I mean, like that's just I can see that being absolutely frustrating.
She's good for defense, but for
Yeah.
offense, I wouldn't really bank on it.
Okay, so that makes sense. Any other leads that we're missing?
Zebra.
Zebra?
Yeah, you can cheese
What's
with
someone-
Havoc Axe.
Would someone try to?
Oh, you can cheese
Havoc-
with Havoc
yeah, we
Axe.
could-
That would be interesting. And by the
That's a
time
great-
Dark comes out, you may end up seeing something like Sphere Frogs in Global anyway. So you
Yeah.
could have two spheres and run.
Angelic Foil and Havoc Axe at the same
And
time.
Havoc Axe at the
That
same
would be
time.
Pretty awesome.
That could be pretty nasty. That could be
By the way,
extremely nasty.
Karl got DC'd.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he did.
Nobody loves him.
Yeah, well, it happens.
Karl,
So-
come back! Come on! There you go.
Little side note here, Brave Frontier just posted server advisory. Our sincerest apologies for the server issues that everyone's experienced. Our servers are now stable, and the issue has been fixed. Please accept 1 gem and 1 metal key as compensation, which will be sent to your
Yay,
box.
free gems!
We greatly
Free gems!
appreciate your patience and understanding. Do you hear that, complainers? You have been appeased.
Did I miss Dark Talk?
What's that?
So did I miss Dark Team Talk? Everyone went robot voice, and then Google just dropped me.
Well, I want to say this person, Karl, but I didn't even notice you were missing.
Hey, that picture. Hey, that picture that was posted on the page with the Dos Equis man got 176 likes.
I am not surprised at all.
177. I just liked it.
Oh man. So yeah, you missed most of the Dark Talk. I don't know if we have anything else to cover as far as leaders, but is there anything as far as squads that something's jumping out at you other than?
Mono kick.
I mean,
4 liras.
so that's the thing. Which one's going to be more popular, Lyra or Kikuri?
Definitely Lira for me. I'm not a big fan of Kikori.
Lyra for the newer guys, for people who are still going to have mono teams from the first time she was popular.
Yeah, that's true. But Pat, Formana, why would you say that?
First and foremost, Lyra has like 1,900 attack for a Lord. And when you get a breaker, you can boost that to 2.1k. And on top of that, she has like a 15 BC requirement for her Brave Burst. That's just insane.
Way too high.
Yeah.
So yeah, that makes sense to me. So you think that she's going to dominate way more? And is there any case that you could see any other units working out other than those two? Especially since not everyone's going to have them.
I think Lyra will be really far ahead, and Kikuri will be following. Her effectiveness around, but she'll be lagging around a few notches below, and everyone else will be just left in the dust, sadly.
Yeah, so it's definitely something that free players are going to have a problem with.
Yeah.
All right. So, is there any other dark units that people want to talk about that still pops out at you that you're thinking may be interesting?
No.
Well, to make the free players happier, Mifune could work.
Yeah, okay. I could see him working. His high attack could definitely help out, and you can farm him,
Yeah.
even if you are free.
Oh, you talking about Mifune?
Yeah.
Yeah, Mifune.
Actually, what about speaking of dark attacks? Even though this unit has a single target brave burst, her attack is pretty high, and it's lethal.
Hades. What was
Liko?
his? Oh, Dilias. Dilias was his 6-star name.
I don't know.
Hellborn Dilias.
Oh, right. Yeah, his attack's extremely high too, and I know.
2,200.
I forget who I was talking about this with, but when you run into them in arena, let me tell you how frustrating it is when they just absolutely destroy you.
He can one
kill the Dillis first, please. Anytime I see Dillis or Mifune, I'm just like, please die. Please die.
Exactly. And they're units that, like, they will just absolutely smack you in the face, and there is nothing you can do about it.
Now,
have you ever seen Mifune with a Wicked Blade?
With a what lead?
A Wicked Blade.
Oh, a Wicked Blade. Oh, God, no.
Oh, my gosh. Mifune with a Wicked Blade is retarded.
no,
He will one-shot a 9,000 health will.
He'll smack your teeth in. Alright, well...
Now, since they're working their way through the elements, possibility may happen at the end, and I want to see it. Rainbow teams.
That would be...
God.
Oh, wow. Lilith would be the primary lead, probably.
I'll go with Loden.
I wouldn't even know where to start, because like we were saying before, like, who knows what the hell's going to be out by then? Like I said, if they're doing these monthly, then I mean, we don't even know the units that are going to be released by that. Like, there's units that haven't even been thought up by the creators that are going to be...
They're doing this once a month. By the time they got the rainbow, I mean, you're talking half a year down the road at least.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, who knows what we're going to see when that comes out, but, I mean, there's strategies galore. We would be here all day even trying to figure out what we would see. But, yeah, so, speaking of Loden, what about the new 6-stars?
Loden is awesome.
Loden is awesome.
My entire list, before this Vortex, I'm trying to go for a quest. I'm looking, okay, Loden. I'm like, come on, people, come on.
I can't tell if you're having trouble loading your game or if you're just saying yeah, so why is Loden so good for anyone who doesn't know or lives under a rock?
Well, let's see. Well, let's talk about his most effective use, like, as of right now. He right now is the best arena lead. Like, I dropped my Felnius Saren team to go Rainbow with Loden because, first of all, I have a Breaker Loden. Mm-hmm. So my attack is extremely high. My defense sucks, but my attack is extremely high. If I have water as my opponent, they're dead. Instant death. And he will even one-shot some neutral elements as well, depending on what type that unit is run. If it's like a Breaker or something like that, if they have a little bit lower HP, he'll one-shot a neutral element as well. And not only that, his 6-star version gives the added BB field boost, the 1.2 boost as well. So when you produce some crystals, he can give your team a chance to kind of fill up slightly quicker than normal. If you put him in that first position, and he goes first, then your entire team is pretty much guaranteed to have Brave Burst. So you got 4 chances. Fingers crossed, someone will use their Brave Burst after Loden.
Yeah, and that's a huge help, especially in Rainbow teams, because I mean, I've noticed the benefit too. When you have him in there as a rainbow leader, it's just like, it's lights out, and it's going to change even more when you see new units roll out, because he's going to be boosting units like 6-star Lyra, like 6-star Farlan. I mean, 6-star Ophelia, all of those.
Because speaking of those units, a very popular team I'm running into when I run into Loden teams in the arena, I'm seeing Loden, I'm seeing Karl, I'm seeing Farlan, I'm seeing Ophelia, and I'm seeing Lyra. I'm seeing all of the fast BB filling characters on a team with Loden.
And the only one I switched out, I don't use Karl anymore.
Lugina.
That's treason.
Sephia. And listen, no one cares about Karl. So yeah, I've been using Sephia, and she's actually been working out really well. Even though that she doesn't get her Brave Burst really quickly, she's able to do enough damage that she can usually help take out a unit on the first turn, and that's huge because that's one less attack.
She's got just as high as attack, and when you add that, if you give her a foil, and then you add Loden's 50% rainbow boost.
Yeah,
that's right there as 125% boost right there.
Absolutely huge boost
To her already high attack.
Okay. So that's yeah. All right. So anybody else that kind of jumps off the page as far as the new 6 stars besides Loden?
Michelle.
Dual GX.
That's my babe, Michelle.
Oh yeah, let's talk about Michelle first.
Michelle, one word, amazing. I'll let somebody else cover Michelle. I don't want to keep going on and on.
Read off what she does?
Huh?
I said, do you want me to read off what she does for everyone?
Sure.
Yeah, go ahead.
50% boost to attack and 10% boost HP for Rainbow Team. Her Brave Burst assigns fire tribute to all units and increases attack by 100% for 3 turns. Okay, Patrick. Her Super Brave Burst is a 18-hit combo that assigns fire tribute to all units and increases attack by 120%.
Okay.
120 or 100? Like, okay, that's a number that's kind of, I guess, we're disputing right now.
Still.
Yeah, because some places are still saying 150, and now this is the first time I'm hearing 120.
Yeah, me too.
Have we done some real testings with it?
I'm going to do. You know what? In a few minutes, I'll do the mimic test.
Okay.
I'm going to take one mimic with me since the mimic only hits one time. And I'll be able to easily calculate the jump in numbers without having to see so many different hits. So he hit one turn. That's how I figured out. How we figured out and confirmed like the whole 50% with Lubridyne and that Michelle was 100%. Weiss is also 100%. So it's like it's easy to do it if they only hit one time.
Mm-hmm.
All right,
well,
sounds good.
Actually, I'll do that right now. You guys can continue.
Michelle, she's really good. Not only because of her BB and her SBB, but her normal hits, she hits like for 16 hits, I think. Am I correct?
15, I think.
Oh, 15?
I think she's a 15 hitter.
15 hits.
That's still pretty high, and
Yeah.
thinking about that and the attack
she's
animation
bulky.
that she has. Huh? Sorry?
Actually, let me pull up. I can pull up her stats right now.
She's bulky as hell, too. For Lord, she has over like 5.5k health.
Yeah.
Okay, yep. 5532. Her attack is 1928. Her defense is 1505. Her recovery is 1794.
And she fills up her BB gauge pretty quickly too.
BB fill 9. That's I guess the turn thing.
It's 18.
And then
18 BCs and 34 BCs for her SPB.
Yeah.
That's actually pretty high. Yeah. So, and her attack animation too.
Yeah, it's pretty
She
good.
attacks pretty condensed. The attacks are pretty condensed, so you can spark well with her. And yeah, I think she's really one of the best units in this batch. But then again,
Also,
every unit in this batch is good for me.
yeah. Except Chara, I guess.
Well, no way. I'm using her.
Well, let me ask you,
That's why I want a 6-star tiara, dude.
what exactly can TR do for you?
Well,
Uh,
her region's way up there. I mean, for someone who deals damage and gives can heal for like about I think 2k per turn.
yes, twice as much as her 5-star.
That's pretty high. that means a 6k per turn. You're not going to use her as a full healer, but as a backup healer.
Yeah. She's
And
like a better Phoenix.
she's way better than Phoenix.
Yeah.
Well, that makes sense. So, anybody else in this group?
Dual GX.
Zelban.
Yeah, let's talk about Zelban first.
Okay.
Oh, wait, yeah. All right. We may need to talk about my boyfriend Zelban first. Zelban, my man crush. He's just awesome. I'm really excited. I'm working on getting his SPB up to 10 because I want to see what the boost is. I want to see just what I can go against and basically take very little damage because his 5-star defensive boost was already high enough, but now to see what it can do at 6 stars, I mean, I cannot wait because there's so many different strategies and squads I want to try him out with.
I don't even see no numbers. Does anyone know exactly how much he actually buffs defense?
No, and that's only because defense is so hard to pin down.
Calculate.
Because unless you know exactly how defense is calculated, you can't really know what the percentage is.
We can only speculate with the numbers for it. Right now, for me personally, I'm speculating I'm looking at about 70 to 100% increase in defense.
I'm just assuming that it's the same as Michelle's boost. Because, well, they're the same batch.
Which would make sense, and I will say that I mean it's higher than any other unit I've seen in the game, just from his 5-star. So I mean it would make sense if it did go along with Michelle's numbers. And I mean obviously everyone from this group has high numbers as far as their buffs because that was basically what they were centered around. But now that they have extra things going with them like actual attacks and all that good stuff, I mean they're becoming very viable, especially since they can cast certain elements on people.
Someone on Reddit is saying that we know exactly how defense is calculated, so I'll take a look at that later.
Okay, that should be interesting. Which would be awesome because then we could find out exactly how much his defense does help. So,
Oh, hey, wait a minute. BFLMP, Reddit mod just said that it's 0.3 times defense equals damage mitigation.
0.3 times defense equals damage mit?
Yep.
Alright, we'll have to test
So
that out.
30% of defense.
Yeah, 30% of defense.
That's too much math to talk about here.
I'm sure we'll get to that later.
Yeah.
But,
I'll
yeah.
be right back, guys.
All right.
You're going to the restroom. Be right back.
Okay. So, anything else that anyone wants to talk about? I mean, someone mentioned Dual SGX.
Yeah.
So, tell me why he is absolutely awesome.
Well, first and foremost, he gives dark element to everyone and the crit up to everyone, around 70%. Add that to the approximate base of 15%, and that's like 85% chance to crit.
That's absolutely huge. And on top of that, he's helping attack.
And his Super Brave Burst adds a 20 hit.
Yeah, 20 hits.
So not only that, but he can help with Spark.
And it's called World's End. Actually, the first time I use a Dual SGX Super Brave Burst, my game crashed. So World's End is a really
World's
good name for it.
Completely makes sense.
Yeah.
So, let me ask you this, though. Are there any other teams that he could be usable in that wouldn't include a crit team?
A team of their batch.
I mean, yeah,
That would be awesome.
I think he has the most HP as Lord. I mean, so he's bulky. I mean, and it's a 20-hit combo. He's gonna be useful.
Okay, and plus, I mean, when you raise critical rates, you're going to be doing extra damage anyway. So that's definitely helpful, but it kind of depends on what squad you're trying to throw him into, and also, I mean, who are you taking out of the current squad idea that you have? You know what I'm saying?
True.
Yeah.
Who is he going to replace that you haven't been able to use all the time anyway? And I guess if you're thinking about the fact that, like, the more, the greater variety of buffs that you can put into a team, the more successful the team can be, but at what point do you run out of unit space? You know what I'm saying? Like, you can only carry 6 units tops, so.
I'll be right back.
So you're kind of thinking like, okay, this unit could definitely be useful, but I think that he may be very situational. And I'm only saying that because like I said, you'd have to take somebody out to put him in. Kind of the same thing with Melchio, but Melchio at least has an attack. I mean, a super brave burst that you're dealing all the colors of the rainbow.
Mm-hmm.
I'm back.
Well, I'd still, if I had to choose, I'd still like if it's just normal dungeon runs, I'd pick dual SGX over Melchio.
And why is that?
Well, I'm just talking about we're just talking about her damage in there. I mean, Melchio has the advantage of its SBB, dealing a lot of elemental damage, but with dual SGX, he's actually affecting the whole team and increasing the attacks of the whole team through criticals.
So definitely very helpful, and not to mention Melchio's kind of situational too, in the fact that yeah, he's good at blocking status effects and being able to prevent. Well, yeah, just being able to prevent him, and the fact that he gets his super brave burst pretty quickly. I mean, those are his redeeming factors. But if you think about it, like you said, it really does make sense to run SGX because if he's going to be benefiting the entire team, you're not just talking about one unit helping himself. You're talking about somebody making sure that everybody's doing extra damage.
Yeah, that's what's good about this batch.
Mm-hmm.
They
Yeah.
give everyone else a buff and an extra element.
Like Ralph, you joked about running an entire team of this batch, but
Yeah.
could you actually see that?
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, think about it. You could run 2 leaders from this batch. So which 2 leaders would you say you would run?
I'd say Michelle and Friend Loading.
And Loden for the increased BB
Friend,
rate.
yeah.
So yeah, that's actually pretty damn decent because
You
you're
have like
So
100% attack increase, 10% HP, and increase the BB field rate.
yeah, and I mean, if you go down the list of just what all of their super brave bursts do, I mean, you're stacked with everything,
Mm-hmm.
absolutely everything.
And the hit count for each super brave burst is really high. So I think you could coupled with a low BB field rate, I think you could fill up most of the time.
Exactly, and I mean, just buffs galore. I mean, you're talking attack up, defense up. I mean, just literally anything and everything. Plus, you're hitting with every element because you're casting every single element on everyone.
Mm-hmm.
I want to see crit teams after the next set comes out because in the next batch of 6 stars, you're supposed to see Logan.
Logan, yeah.
300% attack increase.
It's like Farlong.
Yeah, just like Farlon.
Oh,
So,
and for Logan, it becomes AoE as well, right? For SBB.
yep, his SPB is multiple target, which is very helpful. I brought him along in the Japanese version a few times, and not only the rainbow effect, because obviously having a Japanese account, most of my teams are rainbow, but I mean the fact that he can also use a multiple target instead of having to rely on that single target is a huge help, especially since it hits so hard. So, was there anything else anybody wanted to go over as far as the 6 new units?
Well, these 6 new units will definitely be used in the new stage for Frontier Hunter, which is Terminus.
Okay, why do you say that?
Well, because first and foremost, it will be extremely hard. It's going to be 7 rounds of exactly the same unit, so it won't be random spawns anymore.
Okay.
And then you'll get extremely high number of points because you can abuse the hit count, the spark count, the damage dealt, and most definitely the elemental damage dealt because you all have the elements at your disposal.
Is this a team you can spam BB with like you could with other teams, though?
I think
We
you
have
have
yet
to
to
put
test
in,
that.
Okay.
I think you need to put in Douglas instead of the full.
Lovely
Don't
stuff.
say it. Don't say it. You're playing Zelban? Come on.
Take out Melchio because he's the only one who, if you think about it, Melchio's ability kind of is null and void when you have all of these ones that can cast all the different elements. I mean, if you think about it, he attacks with all the elements, which is what makes him so good. But if you're doing that anyway, then what's the point?
But if you don't kill the stage in one turn, they're gonna put a lot of status conditions on you, so it's gonna be very hard.
Okay.
That's fine. They won't hit hard with the Zelban's buff in.
But it will mess up your
Whatever they
points,
hit you with,
dude.
it won't matter. Oh, Zelban. All right, well, that's a very fair point, and I'm really interested to see how that works out when the next Frontier Hunter comes out, and hopefully we actually will get Terminus this time around. So, let's move on to some Q&A, because we do have some questions here from people, and we'll see what we have that we can answer. And the first one I have here is from the Fact Man, and the question is, which is better, the Centaur 5-star or Vishra? And I guess he's referring to the Fire Arena.
I think I'll go for Centaur.
Centaur as well.
And why is that?
Vishra's 5-star stat is
Meh.
no.
What kind of
Video.
Okay, and what about as a leader? Still Centaur?
Still Centaur.
Yeah.
Over
Centaur.
Vishra, anytime.
Even if you want to annoy people to hell?
If I want to go YOLO mode, then I definitely pick Vishra.
Okay, so there you have it, the Fact Man. You're definitely probably most likely going with Centaur.
Is that Fact Man or are you calling him Fat Man?
No, that's you. I'm talking to Fact Man.
Hater.
So anyway, some of these we've actually already gone over, so I will skip over a few of these. Let's see here. We did talk about Tiara, so we don't need to cover that. Someone wanted to know what are the best 6-stars of this year, and that is also by the Fact Man. What would you consider the best 6-stars of this year?
Douglas.
Kakuri.
Douglas.
I hear Douglas. I hear Douglas. I don't even hear Kakuri.
As of now, or are we supposed to include the?
I think it's right now.
Well,
okay.
Here's why I think no one said Hikari, because there was nothing special about her 6-star. Too much special, to be honest. Like
Yeah.
her super brave verse is nothing more than a powerful version of her regular brave verse. They didn't give her anything like new to that. Like no new status effects, no buffs for
He was such a
team.
letdown in
Yeah.
6-star form.
Yeah, mostly for their batch. I think their batch, Aisha is the best.
Standout.
unit
Aisha
there,
is
yes.
standout. Yeah, I agree. And also the twins, because the twins now have a region heal.
Oh yeah.
And Amy, her super brave burst is AoE now, so.
All right, but would you say that she's one of the best?
Nah, I'd still go with Aisha and the twins.
Makes sense.
For me, I think the best unit for this, I can't really tell right now, but I'm banking on the new 6-stars batch, the Michelle batch.
Mm-hmm.
I can't really say that one is better than this one, but because every one of them is great, so I'll probably go with that answer.
Yeah, makes sense. I don't really know who I would say my favorite or the best one that hasn't been said already. I mean, Douglas, you can't really go wrong with him just because he helps out in every way, shape, and form. And then, I guess you could say Felnius, just because Felnius is so usable as well. Because there wasn't a unit like it, you know what I mean? As soon as it hit, it was like, okay, now you can just spam Brave Burst. And so I guess I'd probably go with Felnius as one of the best. I don't know who else I would say.
I'm not sure what my favorite is, but most usable. Still always gotta say Douglas. He's had the highest impact so far.
Mm-hmm.
That's true. But we can also include one of the best unit for this year. I think Lancia.
Lancia, I was just about to say that.
Lancia.
I opened up my phone and I started looking at units, and then I saw Lancia and I said, you know what? Definitely. Just being able to spam BB and heal up your team every single turn without even having to use her heal is huge. Plus, she gives you an attack boost. So, I mean, I'd put her up there, definitely.
Now, see, we need to ask this question again come November.
Come November?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, by the time the year's done, there's just going to be so much going on. I can't even imagine what teams are going to look like. And that's the thing that I love about looking at the Japanese version right now is that there's just so much variety. There's so many different teams that you can run because it's not like there's one dominating team that everyone just must have. There's so many dominating units that it's like, okay, you could run this, or you could run that, or this is great for raid, or this is great for arena, or you know what I mean? Like, there's just so many that you can't even really like pinpoint one team and say that's that.
Yeah,
Like, I love my team in there
I've
right
seen
now.
the pictures. 6-star Karl can be a thing.
Exactly.
Oh yeah.
And I'm
we
sure
haven't
he will
talked about
be
that
number
yet.
one on your list when he does come out.
We've all seen that pictures. I don't know if that's confirmed or not. 6-star Karl looked awesome.
Listen, I have a feeling your mom's gonna look under your bed and find a picture of Karl, slightly used, and that's okay because you know what? He's your favorite unit, and I might have already one of Zelban. So anyway, yeah. So the fact, man, I hope we fully answered your question, and most of these other questions we pretty much went over earlier. Some of them being, so does a viable unit in arena. What about Dual Spheres, Evil Shard, and Angelic Foil with Alice lead? That's actually a pretty good one. Let's go with that. So yeah, Dual Spheres, Evil Shard, and Angelic Foil, Alice lead. What do you think?
I'm still going with Havoc Axe.
Still going with Havoc? And going with a crit leader, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, only because you're going to be taking out units so quickly that really makes sense that you would want to use that. But I mean, using Evil Shard with Angelic Foil, the only thing is like you could use that for a lot of different units. It's just a matter of I mean, then you're not completely set to have to use Zebra as lead for that. You could actually use that combo for a lot of different things, especially like a Lyra team or something like that. If you really needed it, you may not need it. Who knows? But like we said before, by the time the dark units are out, there's most likely going to be dual sphere, so there's going to be a whole lot of different stuff you can do with that.
I mean, introducing dual spears on the game just brings out a whole new level of possibilities that you can mix up. Like I was thinking before, you could like put on the I forgot the name of the sphere, the taunt sphere. Was that Wise Mask?
Yeah, Wise Mask.
Yeah, a Wise Mask on your tanky unit, and put on like a King's Crown with it, so you can like absorb damage and retaliate with your BB.
That would be pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's going to be really interesting when the two sphere ability drops because you're going to be able to mix and match with so many different spheres. And the only thing is you have to be careful because you can't always put two of the same type of sphere together. They actually have little symbols that dedicate each sphere to their own group. Like you can't run Medulla and Angelic Foil.
One. Yeah. Oh, really?
Yeah, there's different. So those two may be in the same category. I'm not sure. I haven't actually looked at it, but yeah, that's the only reason why. I don't even know if you can run Havoc Axe with Angelic Foil, only because I don't know what Havoc Axe is listed as. That may also be in the attack part. So that may not be something we can use, but who knows? I guess we'll find out when it gets closer to time. But I mean, it's still open for a lot of different things, like I was saying before, using Steeple Rose along with stat boosting sphere is really nice because you get the stat boost plus you get the 50% dark damage, and when you throw them on a bunch of different ones, it actually works out pretty well because that's a huge boost in spark damage, especially for like a Douglas team or something.
What about the Vargas Sphere and the Evil Shard?
That I'm not sure. I don't know what that's listed as either. I'm sure. We'll look it up after this and figure it out. 6
We'll
BC.
get there someday.
Yeah.
We'll get there someday.
Yeah.
We can
That
only
would be-
speculate today.
But that's the other thing. Like, I wonder what's popular right now in Japan as far as running dual spheres. But we'll have to figure that out along the way. I think that pretty much does it for questions. Like I said, we went over most of the other things already. So yeah, I think we're gonna close things out here. Like we said at the end of every single one of our podcasts, we're gonna go ahead and do a summon before we sign off. So, who wants to start?
I'll go last. I'm still on the quest.
Ah,
Me too.
okay.
Hold on a quest.
I'll go. I'm just saying the.
All right, draw it out. Make it good.
Yay, yellow door. Oh, door break.
Which one did you get?
Yay, I hate this game.
What did you get?
Tiara.
Oh, well, you know what? Oh, the rates are up. I forgot. Well,
Yes,
all right, so we're all getting those.
I already got like
Butters.
4 over. She's getting used.
There you go. You can use her as BB fodder to level up your Tiara's Super Breeders. So anyway, anybody else ready to go?
Hold on a second.
I'm on the last page.
Let me get 5 gems. I'll do it. I'll get someone.
I'll go.
Go for it.
Oh, red door. Oh, Michelle.
Oh, nice.
Nice.
A Lord one.
Type.
But I already have mine max. It's Lord.
Lord? Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, you have yours maxed on everything?
Yeah. I'm gonna use it on my second mission.
There you
That I've maxed out.
go.
All right, here we go.
You guys are perverts, you know?
Yeah. All right, good.
Everybody, click my picture. I'm gonna do the camera so you can all see.
Hey, good idea. Maybe we can do this
You guys see?
Yep.
with your new tablet.
Oh, yeah, look at that. That's fresh. Come on, Lord.
Thunderbird.
Thunderbird.
Ramna,
Rana.
Nice.
Guardian.
How many do you have?
This is my second Ramna. My first
Oh,
one
only your
was
second.
my first one was Anima.
Okay.
All right, Ralph, you ready to go?
Yep. There we go. Should I turn on the mute sound as well? A red door. Zelban! Zelban!
Come on, Guardian.
I can't evolve my Zubban because I don't have a Dragon Mimic, and every Mimic I've ran into in my quest in Rival has been nothing but Bat Mimic.
Oh, shit. Yeah, that's true for me too. I don't have any Earth Path, so I couldn't evolve my Zelban. So
So
this guy would have to wait before he
he's
gets
waiting. Yeah, I'm gonna go to Lazaria instead because I run into Dragon Mimics there all the time, but I've not run into one Dragon Mimic all day in Rival while trying to finish Rival.
All right, I'm doing mine.
If there's a god, you get twins.
Red door. Logan.
Nice.
Okay, I'll take it. And Anima. Okay, that's fine.
I just maxed it out of Anima.
Contributing towards my all Logan team.
Oh, get this! I encountered the pot, Earth Pot.
Hello.
Earth pot?
Yeah.
All right, well, yeah, that pretty much does it for this one. Tune in next week as we will have, I believe we have, who is with us? I think it's, I don't know how you say his YouTube name, S34MII? You may know him as Trey. Sammy, okay. So anyway, yeah, he's going to be with us next week, so be sure to tune in, and yeah, see you next
we'll
time.
have the Grawl fight.
Yay!
Hopefully we'll have the Grot fight. Can't wait to laugh at that. Take it easy, guys.